Hi friends, it's Murph. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I thought I'd show you a recipe that is my great-grandmother's. We call it pig in a blanket, and it's pretty easy and simple, so let's get started. So in this bowl, I've added 2 cups of flour. I'm using all-purpose flour. I also have a pastry flour, but either one is fine, but I usually use the all-purpose. And then I've added a half a cup of shortening, and I use Crisco. To this, I'm going to add 3 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 of a cup of milk. I like to use my hands, so I just put on a pair of gloves. We'll get that started. Just kind of mix up and break up that piece of shortening right now. One of the things that it said on my recipe card that's really important is make sure the milk's cold. I know like sometimes we have to leave things out at room temperature like eggs and things like that, but usually on this it says cold. Okay. I was looking through my recipe book and I thought, oh, I want to share some things with you, and I like, wow, this is a really great recipe. I hadn't made it in a long time, but it's good. Okay. It's almost done. Of course, it's a little sticky. Some people use you could use a pastry blender or something, but I like the feel of it, on my hands, and I know that it's mixed up. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of the pastry blender, but you know what? To each his own, right? Okay. Just about done. It almost reminds me of like when I make my bread. No need, just to mix it. Okay. That's it. Really not super hard. Okay. Just gonna set the bowl aside. Okay, flinging around little pieces. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on my board or on my mat. Now all I'm going to do here is just kind of flatten it. And then I'm going to roll it. Usually take a little bit of flour just for the top. So when I start rolling my stuff, if it starts to like split apart or anything, I just kind of like give it a little love, put it back together, and then I just roll it. I like this recipe. It's fairly fast and it's really good, and of course reminds me of when I was a kid. So you can, pig in a blanket, you can make this with hot dog. I'm gonna use some sausage today. So I kind of give it a little bit of a feel just to see that I have the same thickness all the way around. And that's really all there is to it, okay? So let's put that aside. And all I'm gonna do is just kind of square off the edges. We can roll that back out later if we need to. I've made this for the holidays and just used smaller pieces and, wrapped it around like the little cocktail wieners for Christmas and baked them. Today we're gonna use the large sausages. You don't have to be really fancy. I just want it to be fairly symmetrical, okay? Next, we're gonna take a sausage. So this is what I'm using today. So basically, I just kind of eyeball it. I want it a little bit shorter. I want the pastry a little bit shorter than my sausage. So I'm gonna let it hang over the edge, and I'm just gonna kind of mark it a little bit. Just like that. And so roughly, we're gonna just kind of go like that. So now I'm just gonna take it. I wanna make sure you can see it. We're gonna take it and we're gonna just roll it a little bit. Now, right when it's gonna hit the edge right there, that's really all I need. I don't wanna keep rolling it, right? So I'm just gonna kind of go like that. And so this is what it looks like, right? Well, I want that to stay together. So I'm just gonna go like this and just kind of roll it, almost like I do my rolling pin. It's gonna help put it right together. You can pinch it if you want to. I just don't wanna distort that shape much. So I really don't want like I don't wanna pinch it and have like a big ridge. I just want it really flat like that. So let's try that again. So that's basically all I have. I'll take another sausage, and this is what I'm using today. I bet you it's gonna be really good, huh? Okay, so let's roll it. And then we're gonna just kind of cut it a little bit with my knife. And then we're just gonna do this and roll it so it stays together. That's it. So let's recap the ingredients. We had 2 cups of flour. With that, I had 1/2 cup of Crisco. I also had 3 tablespoons of baking powder. Did I say tablespoons? Shocker. Let's do that again. 3 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt. I used 3/4 of a cup of cold milk. And that's it. Flour, salt, baking powder, Crisco, and milk. I'm gonna mix it all together. I did that by hand. You're welcome to do it any other way. I'm gonna bake it in the oven at 350. That's my go-to. I bake a lot of things at 350. It's just easier. I'm gonna bake it for about 25 minutes. You want it to get nice and brown and see what that looks like. It may go a little bit more depending on your oven temperature, but let's take a look at what I already made. This is what these lovely things look like. Okay, let's cut one in half. So these remind me, look at the bottom, a nice golden brown and everything. These remind me of a cross between a biscuit and pie dough. It's not as light as pie dough, but it's more on the heavier side as a biscuit. So remember, this is old school stuff. This is my great grandmother's recipe, and I really like it. Sometimes we used to make them, and we used to close up the whole hot dog or the whole thing. So let's just take a peek at what it looks like. So take a look at that. Doesn't that look good? Well, I hope you like it, and I hope you try it. If you have any questions, just reach out. Have a great day. See you soon.